Ladies and gentlemen, there's something that correlates and connects or binds Tulsi Gabbard, Rand Paul, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and even Bernie Sanders 2016. This new reincarnation or creation of Bernie Sanders obviously is not the person that I wrote about in 2016. And even the person I wrote about in 2016, if I could go back in time, I would have written solely about Donald Trump. Record low unemployment. Trump. Record low black and Latino unemployment. Doha Agreement. Opposed the Lincoln Project. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans. Reversed U.S. foreign policy. First Step Act. First president to step foot in North Korea. Hundreds of thousands of new manufacturing jobs. USMCA. We had all of these great things take place under Trump. Gas prices at around, less than $3? Wealth inequality was dissipating or dwindling, okay? We had a much better economy in terms of geopolitics. It was much better under Trump. We didn't have a geopolitical nightmare that we're seeing now under President Mashed Potato Brains. Inflation was only around 2% under Trump? Now it's 8.5. Really, it's a lot more than that. We're heading into a recession. We were never heading into a recession until Democratic governors, media pushed to end the U.S. economy as we know it. We went from a great economy in January 2 years ago to March of that year with 22 million people unemployed, and Democrats were salivating. They said, oh, it's for your benefit, but they kept the Wisconsin and other primaries with hail and rainstorms during the height of you-know-what. If you look at Florida, getting to Ron DeSantis, his handling of you-know-what was much better than Andrew Cuomo, who won an Emmy, who was now kicked out of New York because of very likely criminal behavior. His handling was much better than most other states. Almost every other state, or major Democratic-run state. The laws that he's pushed are not in any way, shape, or form prejudice. We'll just leave it at that. Democrats, if they don't like something, it's, oh my God, they're fighting against, bigotry and they are the champions of truth and justice as they cheat Bernie Sanders, blame Russia for all of their problems, from Hunter's emails to the DNC cheating Bernie Sanders to anything that's detrimental to their political side. So the xenophobia is unreal within the Democratic Party. But they're the ones who, if they don't like you, you're either part of a Kremlin plot to inform the country that they're corrupt and engage in criminal behavior, or you're a bigoted human being. And Democrats, Biden himself says, you are not who you are if you don't vote for me. And I'm being respectful. I don't want to repeat what he said. Worse than anything Trump said. And you have to be a complete imbecile to think that Trump has said anything worse than what Biden said. But anyway, Donald Trump, or I should say Ron DeSantis in polls now passes Donald Trump. Latest Rasmussen poll, DeSantis and Trump are even with 52% approval rating in national poll of likely voters, but DeSantis surpasses Trump on the disapproval rating with 33% to the former president's 45%. Now, here's what I'm getting at. Hit subscribe to this channel. Share this everywhere. It's it's a very important segment. Okay? I love Trump. I love what he stands for, which is the antithesis of what Democrats think he stands for. Nobody signs the First Step Act, presides over record low black and Latino unemployment, moves the embassy to Jerusalem. Let's see. We can go on forever. Signs an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses, which is running rampant, and is the type of human being that Democrats accuse him of being. Democrats accuse anyone who they dislike of being horrible monsters in every way, shape, or form, as they push for social media algorithms to silence debate and discussion and discourse. We're almost at 196,000 subs. We're almost at 200,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe. I've almost created the satirical comedic channel. You will love it. We'll see. I think the name change will go through, and you will see a channel devoted purely to satire and comedy. I'll pretend to be a morally superior liberal Democrat, If you remember Bizarro World Goodman, it'll be similar to that, but it'll be basically the Democrat that wants Trump indicted. I will pretend to be that person. The columnists at the Washington Post or, I will be that person. So, anyway, and other publications. But anyway, hit subscribe. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. And hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. So I'll try to be doing more channels, more content, in addition to, of course, this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis, according to the Washington Examiner, has surpassed Donald Trump in terms of negative approval ratings or favorability ratings, negative favorability ratings. Less people. The thing with Trump is the following: I love Trump. Here's the way I work. I oppose never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. I oppose the Lincoln Project. Will vote for anyone who the Lincoln Project is against. Lincoln Project is against Tulsi Gabbard. I'd vote for her over Mitt Romney. Lincoln Project is against Trump. Lincoln Project will be against DeSantis, so I'm voting for that person. In terms of foreign policy, there's nothing more important than stopping never-ending perpetual wars, interventions, counterinsurgency conflicts. That's what I've written about in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications. You could read my writing on hagoodman.com. That's the correlation. That's what binds or correlates Tulsi Gabbard, Trump, DeSantis, and anyone who opposes the Lincoln Project people. Okay, so when you hear people say, oh, you're not ideologically consistent, there's zero ideological consistency between Joe Biden and anyone who wants Medicare for all. Like zero. But anyway, that's another story. I voted for Trump in 2020. I will vote for him in 2024. He will almost certainly be the nominee. If he decides not to be the nominee, DeSantis, I think, will have an easier chance defeating a Democrat. I think DeSantis comes with not so much less baggage, because the baggage that was created against Trump was fabricated. The Durham Probe Special Counsel has proven this. The 3 indictments, and there will be more indictments, are showing the world, anyone who wants to pay attention, that is, that Trump was set up and framed. I've been saying that for years. The problem, however, is that people don't care. There is a visceral reaction. There is an irrational contempt. There is a fabricated disdain. There is a maniacal obsession with Trump's personality, his orangeness, it's just, Trump elicits a bizarre, insidious, completely irrational, emotional response. Okay? And Democrats feed off of indignation. They're like Pavlovian subjects, salivating with indignation. They love to feel indignant. And that gives them political will and momentum. And Trump always makes them outraged, indignant, and, the scorn that they possess for this man is just, it's off the charts. Democrats have managed to recreate 30 years of distrust and disdain that Republicans have had for the Clintons within 4 years for Trump, or 5 years. Okay. They managed to do that with lies, deceitful, absurd hoaxes like Trump Russia. But people latched onto them. They said that Trump called certain people good, fine people. That never happened. They said Trump cleared Lafayette Square. Never happened. They said Trump had a 7-hour gap just recently in phone conversations. Never happened. It was a landline. The absurd, fake, bogus stories, morally superior, highly educated liberals only believe. But they'll never admit that they're wrong. You have to understand. The passion that they have against Trump will potentially, it will be harder for him to win. I think that he easily will win, or can win, if he runs against mashed potato brains or anyone they try to replace him with eventually. But DeSantis is it's a great option. DeSantis has overtaken Trump in many respects within the Republican Party. Maybe not officially, but he's surpassed Trump, even within these polls. And so Rasmussen poll, they're tied, but if you have less negative favorability ratings, you've surpassed the incumbent or the person at the top. And it's the favorability ratings, like I talked about with Clinton. I said Clinton would lose to Trump. Now, Trump could still win with those negative favorability ratings because there's enough people who truly, truly are passionate about him and who see that he is going up against a truly corrupt system, that Hunter's emails and all of these, they prop up everything and they make no sense. They prop up, they silence debate and discussion about their corruption, and then they fabricate lies about Trump. See, again, only half the country truly understands that. The rest of the country is emboldened, or they get into a frenzy regarding Trump. His personality alone is enough to get people to the polls. DeSantis doesn't have that, if you want to call it baggage or whatever. Tony Dungy, Hall of Fame, Tampa Bay Colts football coach. Okay, Tony Dungy defends appearance. He doesn't have to defend an appearance. I am serving the Lord. Tony Dungy issues blunt response to critics. He doesn't have to defend anything. Tony Dungy is one of the all-time greats. One of the all-time greats in NFL history in terms of coaching. One of the greatest coaches of all time. He doesn't have to defend. Nobody has to defend taking a picture with Trump or DeSantis. But Democrats have convinced themselves that they're on the side of justice and morality when they're not on the side of justice. They're closer tied to injustice and immorality and unethical behavior and despicable behavior than the lofty morals they claim to uphold. Anyway, hit subscribe right now. Thank you.